Hello, alla side. It's Jessie with the Army Wife Knitting Life podcast, and we have an episode today. How exciting is that, you guys? I feel like I have not been on the face of the earth in over a month. So, let's have all of the yarny talk, and then I will, at the end, we can have chat about life, updates on my babcha. I know people have been asking. So, let's get down to business because I have a feeling this is going to be a bit of a long episode. All right. So, it's been a while. If you want to find me on Instagram, I am armywifeknitlife. If you want to find me on Ravelry, I am armywifeknitlife. Be sure and join our Ravelry group, which is Army Wife Knit Life. It has our picture icon is of Stonehenge currently. That will be changing in the future, so just keep that in mind. But for right now, that is what it is. I will talk at the end about what it's changing to. So that's where you can find me. Feel free to message me, comment on pictures, comment down here below, and I am more than happy to get back to you. I will get back as soon as I can. I'm still adjusting to being back home in Germany, so it might take me a few days or it might be a few hours delay, but I will get back to you, I promise. Okay, now that that's out of the way, I have some finished objects to show. I have more finished objects than what I am showing. However, we have had Christmas pass by and New Year's, and so some of the things that I finished since you guys last saw me are at their new homes with people who love them. So I might try and get pictures taken and put them at the end like I normally do, but it also might just be a simple, they're already on Instagram or on Ravelry, so you can find them there. First things first, though. I have 4, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, or since I'm in Germany, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 pairs of socks ready to show. First pair, I'm showing these in the order I completed them. These. Oh gosh, it's been a while. Feliz Navidad from Nomadic Yarns. And y'all know me. I can't resist a good sparkle. Color is showing up a little. It's more saturated and brighter in person on these. I use my standard sock recipe, vanilla extract pattern from Riza Knits, with the Fish Lips Kiss Heel. I switch between size 1, 1.5, and a 2 for my socks. I typically do 27 stitches on each needle. I do 2 at a time concurrently, so they're on different needles, but they're knit at the same time, and typically at least. And these are currently on Alex Workshop Sock Blockers, my spiral circles. It sounds stupid, but I promise. I always say that it's like a spiral for these smaller ones. I get these. He's based in the Ukraine. Great product. Great quality. I love them. He packages them so well. They do take a little bit of time to get to you, but so does good yarn. I mean, when you think about it, look at Desert Vista Dye Works. Look at Nomadic Yarns. When you order yarn from them, it typically takes a few weeks to get to you. So it's the same with sock blockers for me. However, this one was a ready to ship. I bought in her ready to ship update in May. I got this one, I believe. And I always giggle because I speak Spanish a little bit. I can get by. Let's say that. I can get by with Spanish. It is not decent Spanish, but I can understand typically what you're saying. Just don't ask me to conjugate verbs into a tense that is different than the present. Sorry, I posted pictures on Instagram this morning, and I'm recording on my iPad, and so every time I get a comment, I see it at the top while I'm recording. But I giggle because you would think it's Feliz Navidad, but no, it's fleece, because sheep are fleece. Sheep have fleece. So, that is one pair done. I have a lot to talk about, you guys, so I'm not trying to rush. I just have a lot to talk about. I don't want this to be a 2-hour podcast. Next pair I finished are on my owl sock blockers, also from Alex Workshop Design. And this is the Christmas Merry Mint colorway. And Merry Mint is MERRIMINT because you have mint in the sock. These are from the Yarn Jar. And again, this is a ready to ship update from them too. I got it a while back. Fish lips kiss heel, 27 stitches on each heel. And I use handy dandy cardboard foot to decide when I need to start my heel. So I am using, typically on these, since I've been gone, I did not bother to take coordinating heel, toe, and cuff yarn. So you just get whatever the yarn is for the cuffs and the toes and everything. The next pair I finished, these are very special because they're on sock blockers that I got for Christmas from my friend. Melissa. Sorry, I had to yawn. I have not adjusted to the time zone yet, you guys, so I'm falling asleep at 4 a.m. and I'm forcing myself to wake up at like 5, after 5 hours of sleep approximately. So I wake up around 9. It's not enough sleep because it takes forever for me to fall asleep, even when I'm crawling in bed at 4. So I'm always very tired, and I'm sorry I'm going to be yawning. Jet lag is a killer. But these sock blockers were a Christmas gift from my friend Melissa of Honeybee Knits. And this package came while I was still in California. And it was one of the first things I opened when I got back to Germany. And my husband will tell you that I was just delirious and I would cry at anything. But these really touched my heart. And I'm not ashamed to admit that I cried when I saw them because it was so sweet. These are my Desert Vista Dye Works socks for the month. Colorway is Asphalt Jungle. It is currently in her shop to be ordered. It is dye to order, but they are only in there for a short amount of time. I got this skein last year, and I wanted to start my new year off bright. This is what happens when I'm tired, you guys. You know this by now. So, Desert Vista Dye Works socks. I am participating in the 5th annual monthly sock club this year. So my Instagram at the top of every month is going to be spammed with these pictures of these socks. Because if you don't know, how it works is if you post so many pictures on Instagram, you get a prize per so many pictures. And so if you post 100 posts about your DVD socks throughout the year, you end up getting a free skein of yarn of your choice from her shop. So that's pretty cool to me, and I appreciate it because I like having a stash, and I'm going to knit the socks anyway, so why not just take a few extra pictures and post them and get amazing things. I think that Susan, the dyer behind Desert Vista Dye Works, is the kindest, most generous person when it comes to a cowl, because there are a lot of people that participate in this cowl, and she's giving key fobs, progress keepers, chains, tape measures, skeins of yarn for free to so many people, patterns. I mean, this adds up when it comes time for spending money. It blows my mind that she can be so generous. And so I'm going to take the time and make sure that I spread her business and support her because she does amazing things for our yarny community, and she is so giving and generous. Okay, that's the end of my rant. How many times can I say generous in a 3-minute time span? Generous, generous, generous. As I said, these sock blockers are super special to me. They have the name of my podcast on there. These are from Knitting Left, by the way. Then I'm revealing these one at a part by part. This is Do What Makes Your Heart Sing for me. That's 2 sticks and string. You have no idea how much I wanted to say see ya at the end of that. But it's got my little catchphrase, my sign off. And then Melissa knows how much I love owls. So they have a heart and they have little owl cutouts. These are beyond precious. I love them so much, and I am so grateful to have a friend that knows me so well and does little things like that. Kind of makes me feel official that I have something with my podcast name on it and my catchphrase. See? Still don't weave in ends. It might be new year, new me, like so many people say, but new me still does not enjoy weaving in ends. So they get tucked in. Even when I actually wear socks, you guys, you have no idea. It drives my mother up the wall insane. I still just tuck the little ends in when I wear them. And my toes, they don't get woven in either. They're just in there. They're hidden. No one sees them. Why does it matter? So those are my knitting left sock blockers. And then my last pair of finished socks is a Regia. And I started these for the Sensational Stripes make along with Laura of A Crocheting Hoovian. And I was a terrible make along hostess. But to be fair, I had a lot of things that came up unexpectedly. And I didn't think my mother being here would affect my schedule quite as much as it did. But it did. And I wouldn't trade it for the world because we had some great bonding time. But we'll talk about more of that at the end. But this is the yarn that I started for that make-along. And I finally finished the socks on January 3rd. I was bad and did not finish my own. But I did other stripy socks during that time frame. Just didn't finish the pair I originally cast on. I could not tell you the color for the life of me on these. It's from their Surfer color 4-ply line, but they're self-patterning. They were fun colors, and it was just something I really needed fun at the point when I got back. So I have these. So 4 new pairs of socks. Hooray! Last finished object. You guys, this is like one of the fastest things I've knit. You think I knit socks fast? Oh no. This hat is the fastest thing I've ever knit. It is absolutely beautiful. It is the Gather hat from Tin Can Knits. And this is it. And ignore my head. She's got taken a beating or two from moving. But the yarn is Eucalyptus from Starchild Creations, who is my friend Logan. Let me show you her card. See if we can get, ooh, come on. It's not going to show you all the ways you can contact her. She has an Etsy shop, Starchild Creations, and her Instagram is star_child_creations. Logan was my first fiber friend in the fiber arts community. I've known her for over 2 years now. Oh my gosh, that's a long time. And she was the first indie dyed yarn I ever purchased. She did stop dyeing yarn for a little while she lived in Italy because she's a Navy wife. And it was really hard to get supplies there, and it takes a while. But now she's back stateside, and she's dyeing again. She's dyeing yarn and fiber. You guys, her stuff is beautiful. Look at these colors. This is her DK weight. So it's 100% superwash merino, and it is DK. As I said, 231 yards. I still have a decent amount of yarn left after this ball, after I've made this hat. Would show you, however, it's already tucked away for a different project and a plan. So, but as I said, just beautiful. This is something I hadn't seen in a really long time. I've only seen it on this pattern, and I've made this pattern once before. It was a few years back for Logan and I's mutual friend, Sarah. And she is Fairy Cakes yarn now. Last time I spoke about her, she was still Bijou Garden Gifts, but she took a little hiatus for some self-care, which is very important. And now she is back, better than ever, and dyeing yarn again. But this is called, I've made a hat for her just like this. I used Splatter Dash and Picasso Eye, I think. But this is called the Smocking Stitch, and it's like a faux cable. Super simple. You can look on YouTube on how to do it. Very Pink Knits has a tutorial, but the way they do it is all very difficult. If you go to the Tin Can Knits website, they have in-depth tutorials on pattern stitches, and the way they do smocking stitch is so much faster. But as I said, absolutely gorgeous. The colors in this, they are much richer for me than they are showing up for you guys. But they're beautiful jewel tones of gold and purple and teal and green. And it's kind of Mardi Gras-ish, but also not at the same time. But it's just stunning. I love this hat so much. So much. Okay. That's it for finished objects. And we're less than 16 minutes. We are doing well, guys. This is what's going to take a while. I have some whips. Some. First one is in a Molly Klein design bag. I love this. I saw it on her Instagram advertising it, and I messaged her because her shop update was going to take place in the middle of the night for me. And I miss out on a lot of things because I'm not in the States anymore, because I'm not typically awake at the hours that most US shops have their updates. So I messaged her and I said, hi, is there any way possible that you could set this aside for me, reserve? I will pay for it up front, but I absolutely love this bag because I love owls, and I live too far away to be able to be awake for the shop update, and I have a hard time sleeping as is, so if I am asleep, I don't want to wake up for anything. So Molly Klein design bag, she graciously said yes and let me go ahead and pay for it up front. Shipped it out the next day. It was the best customer service ever. And this inside of this is beautiful paisley. Works really well. And I will let you know my favorite owl. This pink one right here. I don't know why. She just looks sassy with those eyelashes. In here is a hat for my nephew. He is playing club soccer this year, which involves indoor soccer for him. He's never done club soccer before. Normally he's just in little league and intramural soccer. But this year his indoor soccer for the club is taking place in what used to be a ice rink. So it's very, very cold. And my sister messaged me and said, is there any way you can make him a hat in his team colors? I said, yeah, I can totally do that. And she asked for stripes. She asked for the letters of the league he's in and his number to be put on it. And that's kind of all. She's giving me free rein. And she also wants ear flaps and the braids. That's all she asked for. And I'm not a designer by any means. I kind of just found a pattern, and once the hat is done, I will probably do duplicate stitch on top with all the letters and the number. I'm just kind of guessing though. It's the Cozy pattern by Allison Williams. So I have ear flaps, which I've never done before. And that's all I have so far. He's 10. I asked her to measure his head circumference so that I would know what size to make. He's already in the adult size male hat, you guys. That's insane. His head is bigger than mine. And he's 10. I'm nervous to see how big his head is going to get. So, his colors are navy and white. And I am hoping to get this done this week because it has to make its way over to Seattle. And indoor soccer practice starts next month. So, I am working hard to get it done. I'm using Takumi clover needles. These are a size 8, and the yarn is nothing fancy. He's a 10-year-old boy. I'm using Red Heart because he's a boy. He's going to play this. He's going to be wearing this while practicing and playing games, and he's going to be sweaty and gross because that's what boys do, and that's okay. But I wanted something that they could just throw in the washing machine and the dryer, and it'd be fine. And let's be honest, I know my sister and I know my nephew, they're not going to pay attention to yarn instructions for care. So, Red Heart. Also, the stitch marker is from my friend Logan as well. She makes a lot of things, you guys. It's not just yarn and fiber. She does bags. She does stitch markers. She does keychains, key fobs, badge cord retractor wheel things, necklaces. If you name it, she probably has it in her shop. I feel like I'm sounding like an ad, but I really do love her stuff, you guys. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be working with it. And even if I was working with it, I wouldn't be telling you guys about it if I don't enjoy it. So, because I am fortunate that I have a lot of indie dyer friends. I have the ability to purchase from a lot of indie dyers. And if there's something I don't enjoy, I will still show you the project. I just won't necessarily promote the shop as much. So, I'm only going to tell you and rant and rave about the things that I love and make me excited. Logan's shop, Starchild Creations, is one that gets me excited. She sends me pictures before she posts them in the shop. That's the perk of being besties, you guys. That is a perk. And it's so hard for me to say, don't put it in there. I want it. And being a good friend, I still pay for my things because I know that this is how she makes her living, that this is her business and I want to support her business, not just get freebies. And so yes, she might send me something extra every once in a while, but I pay for what I'm given from her because I want to support her and help her thrive. End of rant. Okay. I wasn't expecting to have this rant, you guys. I'm sorry. My next project, going through, I have a huge pile over here and it's very precariously arranged, so I have to make sure that what I'm grabbing doesn't upset the precarious arrangement. This next project is not very far along. I just started it last night, but it is in, you guys haven't seen it yet, but while I was in San Diego, I was with my friend Alex of the Hound Strings podcast. She only has 2 episodes up so far, and I've known her since I was 12. She's the sweetest. She is so dang smart. It's not even funny. And she is kind and good-hearted. And those are some of the best things that I can use to describe a person. But we recorded a joint podcast while we were together. She lives up the street from my babcha. And unfortunately, we have been having some technical difficulties with getting it uploaded. But in there, we exchanged our Christmas gifts to each other. And this is one of them. This is what she gave me along with a skein of yarn, which you will see in a future podcast. But she sewed me this project tote because she knows that while I'm here, I'm traveling everywhere. But it's huge, you guys, and it holds a lot of yarn. I have one of the Karen 1-pounders in here, right here. I could easily fit in another one or 2 and have no issue. But this is holding, you guys know when it's Karen 1-pounder, it's typically meaning it's a blanket project. Yes, I just finished 2 for Christmas, one of which drove me insane, the Blanket of Doom, but they loved it, absolutely loved it, so it was worth every second. I have started making white crochet squares for my nephew's Christmas present because I am that organized this year. At least that's the goal. I am using a K hook, which is a 6.5 millimeter. This is a Brittany hook, and let me get its packaging because I got this while I was in San Diego. It is made in California, so it was local, and it's from sustainably harvested birch. And they have a 5-year warranty on them. I think they are absolutely beautifully made. There's no snagging. It's all very smooth. The handle is beautiful. This is a rubber band. Ignore it. I just keep it on there in case of things happening. It's just a safety thing for me. It makes me feel better. But we joke about this in our joint podcast that it's like a Harry Potter wand, Wingardium Leviosa, because it's pretty like that. So I'm going to give this hook a try. I typically use the Clover ergonomic hooks, but and I typically use the size K too, which is why I got this wooden one. But I like the idea of being more environmentally friendly and sustainable, and plastic is not something that is good for our environment. And yes, I know acrylic yarn is terrible for our environment, but I'm doing small changes to hopefully make things better, and I am trying to actually use up all of my acrylic yarn so that I can start buying more environmentally friendly yarn. So, because just not using it does not help at all. It's already been made, and I don't want it to end up in a landfill as is. So, I'm liking it so far. I've only done 5 squares, but what I'm making is a paw print, because my nephew, as we deem him, is the crazy cat lady. I'm going to show this really quickly because it's a chart, and I don't want to give away a secret sauce, but this is the Pixel Crochet book by Hannah Muir, M-E-U-R. I bought it off of Knit Picks during their big book sale last year. So, all right. There we go. That's what I'm making. I know you guys could potentially pause it and be able to use it, but I'm trusting you guys on the honor system to not, because she deserves all the kudos for her work. I love it. So there's a few other patterns from this book that I'll be doing this year too. Shh, I know I'm crazy. As if I don't have enough blankets. I should have learned my lesson last Christmas, but I didn't. And I'm going to make them because I love seeing people open them. Okay, next project that I'm working on is in my Bags by Awesome Granny bag. This is her Nutcracker bag. And I tell y'all, I get the matching Notions pouches every time when they're available. Well worth it. They hold a lot of stuff. There's all these stitch markers. There's multiple sets of needles. There's a crochet hook. There's 2 tape measures. A little mini skein of leftovers. And it also has my new wrist ruler that I bought at Yarning For You. But yeah, this holds a lot of stuff, you guys. A lot. It's not a tiny Notions pouch by any means. I love it. This is holding my Michigan Avenue wrap from Molly Klein Design. And let me get out my little colors first. Okay. And I'm calling it the Slither Shawl because I'm doing it in Slytherin colors. There we go. This is a super simple, brainless pattern. I have this Progress Keeper from Simply Serving. It's a little blue unicorn cake. And it's got the little gradient blues on the other side. And it's actually textured in there. I know you can't see it, but it does have texture, so it looks like cake. Then I also, just for my daily progress, have another Simply Serving gingerbread man. So I'm about a third of the way through done with this. I adore it. It is great for when I am tired, but not ready for bed, but I can't think yet anymore. So it's mostly garter, and it's just got a few onesie-twosie stitches that you need to pay attention to in order to get this beautiful little ridge here. So that's that project, and this is on ChowGoo needles, size 7, and I'm just using a long cord. I have the ChowGoo interchangeable set, and they are my go-to needle for almost everything. I adore them. The yarn I am using for this is Michael's, excuse me, Michael's Loops DK yarn. It's Joy DK, Loops and Threads. So we have this. The color names are in my project page on Ravelry. I honestly could not tell you right now what the green one's name is. But I know that the black is ink. Because, you know, so original. Ink. And this is Cloud. And I love it because this is $3 a ball, you guys. I was running low on yarn when I was in San Diego. And my grandpa, took me to Michael's, and he said, go get what you need, because he knows that knitting keeps me calm and keeps me less stressed. And so he said, I know you need this. Just go get what you need. I'll take you, and let me know when you're ready. We'll go. So we went, and I got some of these. And I mean, I actually bought 6 balls. So I have these 3, and then I bought 3 more in different colors to make a different shawl, because, and you'll see them in a moment. But I mean, I walked out with plenty of yarn to make any project I could have wanted, and that would keep me occupied for the 3 weeks I was there. It was ridiculously cheap, you guys. $18. I walked out spending less than $20, and I have projects that'll last me hours. How great is that? Because we know I am not a yarn snob by any means. I enjoy good yarn, but I also appreciate that there's a time and a place for yarn that isn't hand-dyed indie. I mean, it's great, but I can't always afford to use it. I mean, it's like when it comes to knitting a sweater for me, I can either go with commercial yarn and afford the sweater and not be so stressed about it, or I can go to an indie dyer, spend an arm and a leg and my firstborn on it, and then be scared to use it because it's so expensive. So I go for commercial yarn, you guys, too. It has its time and place. As proof of that, some of the girls in my knitting group on the VKN are all knitting a boxy. I, too, am knitting a boxy. A worsted boxy, because I live in a place where it actually gets cold enough to need a worsted weight sweater. So there's not a lot of people that do, but I do. And I'm losing my voice, so I'm going to take a pause and have a sip of soda. Sorry about that, y'all. So I'm using commercial yarn for this sweater. All right. So I'm using Caron 1 pound. This is from their Century collection, so it's from Joann's. You can only get it at Joann's. You cannot buy this color on Amazon or at Michael's. I was about to say at Netflix. Wrong service that Amazon provides that Netflix also provides. I'm a little tired, y'all. We've discussed this. This is the Black Plum colorway, and it's sort of a smoky gray purple. Absolutely beautiful. I started this when I was still in Mississippi, but I knew that I could easily work on the body and get it done while I was in California. However, I knew that since the body is fine, but the top and the back are knit separately, and I'd never done a sweater construction like this before. I knew it would probably take brain space that I couldn't guarantee that I would have. So it got put away after I cast on, finished the ribbing. I did maybe an inch of the stockinette, and it waited until I came home. So yesterday I picked it back up for the first time because I finally opened my suitcase. I haven't unpacked it yet because I need more hangers. I bought enough clothes to kill somebody. But I did open my suitcase and pull this out. Okay. So I've got a few inches on it, some decent progress. And I mean, a boxy is an oversized sweater, so I feel like it's approximately the size of a circus tent. But it's going to be comfy and cozy and warm, and I am very excited about it. These are size 9s. From Xiaogu, red lace interchangeables. And I have my beginning of round markers here, just a basic diaper pin like one. And this is the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer from Simply Serving. I love her progress keepers, you guys. They're beautiful. They're so unique and fun and whimsical. So I have a lot of hers. They're kind of one of my weaknesses. If anyone ever has any doubt or wants to get me something, go to Simply Serving and grab a progress keeper because I love them. It doesn't matter that I have 20,000 stitch markers that I could use. These are fun. And it was Christmas time, so it kind of matched. So this officially only takes me 2 skeins of this Caron 1 pound yarn, which priced at Joann's is about it's $10.99 in Mississippi. So it's gone up a little since I lived in the States. It used to be $9.99. But I got it on sale for $6.99 a ball, and I actually bought 3 because it's a gorgeous color and who knows how long it'll be there, and I want to enjoy it. So I made sure that I got an extra and I had wiggle room, you know, because I like long sweaters. And who knows what else I might want to make with it. So I bought the extra. And so, I mean, I'm getting a beautiful, comfortable sweater for less than $15. You can't beat that when you are as fluffy as I am. Sweaters that are $15 don't come around that often. And if they do come around, they're typically not exactly age appropriate looking. They kind of look like a couch threw up on them from the 70s. And if that's your style, that is fine. I am not going to diss your choice of clothing. However, it's not my style, and so I wouldn't want to put that on my body. So I would rather not spend the $15 on it. I'd rather spend the $15 on my commercial yarn and have a sweater I like to wear. This is being held because the skeins are so big. It's being held in my bag from Wicked. This is the other side. Just a tote bag. I bought this at the Wicked show. I've seen it 5 times currently with my mom. I bought that the most recent time we went. So I like it because it keeps everything in one place. It's simple and I can see into it. And I like Wicked a lot, as evidenced by the fact I've seen it 5 times. It was actually my favorite musical up until Hamilton came along. And I do still love Wicked. I still see it. There's actually a Broadway tour company going to Memphis, I believe, next year that is going to have Wicked there. And my mom already messaged me saying, so are you going to fly in for it? We're discussing it. And I know it sounds absurd to fly back to the States just to see a musical, but it's my mom and I's thing, so it's special. Okay, that is it for works in progress. The rest of this stuff that I have over here is stash enhancement and organization. So what we're going to do is we're going to do stash first because it's smaller. Organization is going to take some time today, you guys. And actually, you know what? We also have some make-alongs to talk about. I'll talk about the make-alongs first. So let me go ahead and grab one. Okay. I'm going to grab 2. All right. My friends and I this is the fun of being podcaster friends with other podcasters. That sounds stupid, podcaster friends. They are just my friends at this point now. But my friend Deborah from Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal is doing a Kidder Getter Done. And so you can take any kit that you have received. It doesn't have to be knitting and crochet. It could be a quilt kit. It could be felt applique. It could be cross stitch. It can be whatever. As long as it is in kit form, so everything you need to make this project comes in the one package, it counts and you can participate in it. It is wonderful. And I'm trying to see the official dates of it right now because I'm a bad podcaster. I pulled up the other one. Let me see what I can find here. Here we go. Okay. This is an all-year make-along. That's good to know. That's important. Because there's a few things you need to know. She has multiple cows going on, you guys, and they're important. So, I have 2 kits that I've pulled down to start working on for the year. The first is I want to learn how to cross-stitch. you guys have already seen my cross-stitch acquisitions. However, I figured if I'm going to learn how to do this, I should probably not learn on the expensive kit. I should learn on something simpler and cheaper. So when I was at Michael's, I grabbed this. I mean, it's a cat with a yarn ball. It's bound to be cute. So if it ends up that I can't do it, I send the kits in their whole form to my mother. But you have to enter finished objects in her post on her Ravelry group. And if you haven't seen Deborah's podcast, Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal, I'm going to say it again. Wonderful woman. She is smart. She is kind. She is a boss. Those are the nice words. There's another thing that I would love to say, but she is a boss lady. I love her. She is strong, confident, empowered. Wonderful. The other thing I'm starting, we're actually doing one of these together, is before I knit and crocheted, I would latch hook. And I love owls, so I have this kit. I haven't started it yet. I plan to start it very soon, but I am going to be doing this for Kit or Get Her Done. And I was being super organized this year. And I went ahead and I bagged all the separate colors in their own little baggies so that I can just pull from the bag and not have to worry. So you guys might see some other crafts in here. I know this is a knitting and crochet podcast, but I like to think of it as a crafty podcast in general. So I hope you don't get too annoyed when I show off my other crafts. Other make-alongs that you should know about. Deborah is also hosting the Creature feature for the year. She is co-hosting this with a crocheting Whovian, my friend Laura. She's also my sister wife, if you'll care to remember. And you make amigurumi. You can either do it knitting or crochet. And each quarter they have a different theme. So from January to February, the theme is Under the Sea. You can enter in any amigurumi you would like. It doesn't have to be that theme. However, if it does fit into the theme during those months, you get extra entries. I'm going to take some water now because I'm thirsty. See, I do get water too, you guys. Another make-along is the Farmer's Almanac make-along, also hosted by Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal, Deborah. And this is a year-long make-along. And each month, she will pull out some tidbits from the Farmer's Almanac for the month of things that are significant to that month. And you can knit, crochet, spin, weave, knit, sew, do whatever you'd like, craft, something that fits under one of these topics, and enter it. And she tries to make sure that she picks something that'll hit everybody's interest. So she has stuff about astronomical things like the moon when the Earth reaches some point in its orbit, holidays that take place. It has science-y things like Stephen Hawking's birthday was yesterday. So was Elvis's, matter of fact. And so you can just things in general. I am going to be doing Edgar Allan Poe was born on January 19th in 1809, and English is my happy place. I love it. I love the things he's written, and so I'm probably going to do a little heart ornament for the Telltale Heart. And so there's lots of fun things. Be sure to check it out. She will be updating it every single month, and she tends to pull out the list halfway through the year prior so that you have time to plan and get things done. Another thing to think about for make-alongs is Knick Knack Knits podcast. My friend Nikki, she's doing the Sock It To Me Cal. You just have to complete one sock and post it, and it is a year-long knit-along. So make sure and participate in that. My friend Agatha is on Etsy. This is just going to be my announcement section, I guess you guys. She is having a sale on her Etsy shop. She is a Magpie Knits. All one word. You've seen her yarn before. I have a lot of her skeins because they're beautiful. And she is having a sale. I'm going to read the email with all the info. Whew, that's blown out. But that's good. You can't see anything. It says the shop has been updated with new yarns and there's still a few bags available to celebrate the new year. She's having a sale for 10% off everything in the shop from January 7th until January 21st. Happy knitting! Agatha does some beautiful yarn, you guys. And I love it. I can't wait to start working with mine. So that's announcements for make-alongs and sales and other people's shops. Now it's time, I think, I tell you about my make-alongs. We have started the Golden Girl Along. This takes place from January 1st until March 31st. And it's a very easygoing make-along because I'm getting back into the swing of podcasting again. And so if you can relate your project to the Golden Girls, it counts. It can be you knit this project while watching Golden Girls. It can be this color makes you think of the Golden Girls. Like if you have a pink colored or a rose colored yarn, you can say, hey, it makes me think of rose. It's okay. You can also knit Golden Girls specific patterns. I know I've seen some Golden Girl amigurumi. So if you made those, you could enter them into the creature feature too. So that's double dipping. I always encourage double dipping. And there are things you need to know though. I am having double entry availability for if you use Golden Pearls yarn, because I love their yarn. It is beautiful and it's all Golden Girls themed. You can also do two specific Golden Girls patterns, which are the Picture It Shawl and the Picture It Hat Cowl Mitts set. If you do any of those 4 projects, then you can enter them in for double entries. And if you knit them out of Golden Pearls yarn, you will also get double entries for both. So you can seriously get some entries if you do either of these, you guys. The girls behind Golden Pearls are so friendly, and if you see a color in the shop that you love but they don't have in a base you like, message them. They are so nice and kind. I fell in love with the Shady Pines colorway, but I wanted it in DK because I'm in a DK place right now. And this was at Black Friday Thanksgiving time. And I messaged them and I said, hey, I see that you have it in this, but you don't have it in this. Is there any way that you could possibly, next time you are dyeing, could you dye up a DK weight skein of this for me? And she said, absolutely. So they're very nice. They're a mother-daughter team, sort of like Dorothy and Sophia. They're great to work with. I love them. Prizes for that will be announced later, though, because as we've already discussed, I'm still getting back into Germany and settling in. So I haven't pulled out the prizes for it yet, but there will be some awesome, awesome prizes. I promise. All right, so that's it for my current make-along. We also have some coming up that I will just let you know about. Starting in May, we are going to have a Yoo-Hoo along. And I say Yoo-Hoo like the shop owner in Frozen. I've seen the movie a time or two. And he goes, Yoo-Hoo, big summer blowout. And I'm going, Yoo-Hoo, big stash blowout. Because at that point, we will be about a year from moving. If we are moving, we don't know yet. I mean, that's when our time is up, is about a year and a half. And we don't know if we're staying in Europe. We don't know if we're staying in this house because we'll be extended. We don't know if we're going back to the States. But regardless, if we are leaving this house, I need to get rid of some stash. Seriously. Because I've tripled it, more than tripled it, in the year that I've lived here. So we need to go down because we're only allowed so much weight when we're moving. So that's coming up. And other than that, there will be a theme month or two within the Yoo-Hoo along. It is a year long, so from May to May. Excuse me. And there will be theme months in there, and there will be some fun things, I promise. But I just wanted you to be aware. So I'm telling you now, because what I need you to do is to get your stash in Ravelry updated. Just trust me. It'll make things so much easier because then you can actually enter it in on your project, what it is, and it'll transfer how much yardage each skein is, and then I want you to weigh your skein when you finish your project and tell me how much you have left. So get your stash updated on Ravelry, you guys. I promise. I'm even doing an Excel spreadsheet because I'm that nerdy. Let me get some more water. Okay. I'm super dehydrated, you guys. I can't help it. All right. That is it for announcements and make-alongs for right now. Beyond that, we're going to have stash and we're going to have organization and live chat. We're at about 50 minutes so far. We're not doing too badly. I have acquired a bit of stash. However, I'm just going to show you like a handful of things because otherwise there's just too much and we'll be here for 3 years. So you'll see it as it comes in. First thing I got was a skein of Go Into Twilight from my friend Logan, Starchild Creations. It's fingering weight. It's a 75-25 superwash merino nylon, 463 yards. And this colorway is stunning. It was one of the few yarns that I bought in December because I'm trying to be good and not buy this year. So stash acquisitions might be a little skimpy this year. But trying to be good. I won't always be good, but I'm going to try and use what I have. So this yarn is just absolutely gorgeous. It's so soft and squishy and plump, you guys. And the colors are just, they're actually showing pretty true to color. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Then I have, this is the other half of my Christmas gift from my friend Alex. It's Forbidden Fiber Company in the Justice space, which is an 80-10-10. So 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. This is the color Weasley Family Tent. And then I went yarn shopping with Alex. And we were at a store called Black Sheep. And I didn't buy any yarn there, but I bought fiber. And it is the Schopelwolle Filzwoll Omba Kansuk. It's 50 grams in the color Charisma. So it's black and like a raspberry or mulberry. Merlot almost. So it's beautiful. I have my spinning wheel. I am determined to figure out how to use it this year. I have the Kromsky Sonata in mahogany, and its name is Juggy. I also have a drop spindle from my friend Alex, and I ordered the electric eel 2, the Nano, from Kickstarter. And I like the idea of it because it's very portable. So I need to figure out how to use it so that when I move, I can just bring fiber and make my own yarn while I'm in a hotel or wherever I'm going to be waiting for my stuff. And I like the idea that it doesn't have to treadle and you just plug it in. So that's nice for portability. The next thing is I ordered this Vogue knitting book. Well, I didn't order it. I found it when I was in Branson at Silver Dollar City, an amusement park of all places. It's not what I was thinking it was, but it is still interesting to look at. It's a great coffee table book. You can see patterns throughout the years. Like, here we go. This is from the fall-winter issue of Vogue Knitting in 1982. So it shows you the pattern here. And then what you do is it also tells you on this page where to go to get the instructions. So they are in this book. And I'm very excited about it. It wasn't what I thought it was by any means. I don't know why I thought it would be different, but I did. And it's a very heavy book. I got it on sale though. She was trying to clearance it out. It normally sales retail for $50, and I got it for $35. Woohoo! Okay. And then I told you I was going to tell you more about the DK. These are the other 3 colors I got. Joy DK loops and thread. This is the Iris colorway. This is Latte. It's kind of like a tannish taupey color. And then I also got Coral. So that's all of my stash enhancements that I'm going to show. I don't know what I'm going to do with this color combo yet, but I'm very excited about it. It might be color work. It might be a shawl. I don't know. We will find out. I was asked to talk about my planner really quickly. And this is a Bloom planner. What I like about it is that when you get it, everything in it, it's not dated at all. It just has the months. So this is February. But I had to actually come in and write the days. So I like it because it works for any year. And kind of what I did is this is January. I have a knitting goal. I was very jet lagged when I made a goal of complete 15 projects this month. It's not going to happen. It's going to be 10 projects. I have what cal I have going on along the top here. And then for the monthly overview, it tracks when I cast on and when I finish projects. It tracks birthdays. It tracks my Blueprint subscription. And it also tracks my husband's TDY trips. So it kind of lets me see the month, what day everything is, if there's something I need to plan, because it's mostly for knitting, but important things that might affect my knitting time go in this planner, in the monthly overview. And then it also has a weekly overview. And so over here, it's just basic things you need to do for the day. So I organized projects for the quarter. I did my floors this day. Today I'm recording. Tomorrow the housemeister comes to fix some lights in my house. And then my husband and I are having a dinner date. It lets me track how much water I've drank that day. I need to catch up on my water. The day's going by quickly. It has a list of things I have to do this week, things I need to keep in mind, healthy habits, and the weekend. And so I have listed for my healthy habits a walk, a meal prepping for the week, and self-care, because self-care is important to you guys. So I consider it a healthy habit. And if that means I take a bath once a week, or I just sit and have aromatherapy, or I just write for 30 minutes, I want to make sure I get it done at least 3 times a week. And so I have those weeks for the entire year. This planner also has a notes section, so lined paper. And it has a sketching section. And it has a grid. I swear that this was invented with knitters in mind, because charting, hello. And then for a little bit of extra joy, it has coloring pages. So, I mean, there's nothing too special to my planner right now at this point. I just try to make sure that I write everything down that happens in my life that could affect knitting time, that is celebrating holidays. So it kind of helps me also plan out what projects I'm doing, because, for instance, say I wasn't paying attention and all of a sudden Valentine's Day is creeping up on me. I don't have anything pink or red. I need to make something. Looking at my knitting planner helps me with that. Okay. Now we're getting to the craziness, you guys. I said I'm organizing projects for the quarter. You heard me say that. So, what I've done is I have this, I don't know if you guys can hear what I said. I have this enormous bag behind me. I'm going to try and lift it. Actually, I'm going to move my chair. And then I'm going to, okay. I moved back for this bag, you guys, so that I could get the entire thing in the frame. It's a big bag. I got it at the Disney store. And it is filled with projects. because we said, I have the Yoo-hoo along. I have to get ready to move. And I can't have all of this stash because we're only allowed so much weight when we move. And you have to account for furniture. You have to account for everything in your house, and you're only allowed so much. And no, yarn might not take up much weight by itself. A ball or two is nothing. But when I came over here with a very small stash, comparatively, and I've more than tripled it, I need to get some of this moving and not buy more. And I need to it needs to go out of the house once the project is made. So what I've done is I worked on my queue. I set up a bunch of projects that I want to work on within the next few months. And then I pulled yarn from my stash. And so if you guys look at my queue, you'll see notes. I know that's not how you're supposed to use the notes section, but what I did is I put the yarn in that I want to use for the project. And then in the notes section, put what bag I put all of that yarn in. So, for instance, I have this bag from Stitching Plaza. It's listed as my Harry Potter owls because it has Deathly Hallows at the bottom. In it is the yarn I need to make the Ladera Shawl. So I have a post-it note, or I ran out of post-it notes actually. So I'm using these little like message pad cubes from Vera Bradley, because I also love Vera Bradley, you guys. I wear them everywhere. I have the name of the project in the bag with the yarn. This is also acquisition stuff that I bought when I was in San Diego. This is Twisted Owl Fiber Studio. And it's their 2-ply sock, which is an 80/20 merino nylon. The charcoal colorway. And this is Forbidden Fiber Company. However, they had a name change. Before, they used to be Forbidden Woolery. Now they are Forbidden Fiber, and this is the Hidden Gemstones colorway. So that's their old ball band. But so I have it in the bag with the title of the shawl here, of the project there. And it's all grouped into this one huge bag. So when I want to start a new project, I can just reach in blindly, and then I'll know that's what I'm going to cast on or work on. So I have that in here. I have, I believe, this is my September planned project. Yes, it is. It's a Marauders map, Stitching Plaza bag, and I'm doing the exploration station with this Slytherin kit from Bad Wolf Girls. Sorry for the crinkling. So I'm not going to go through all of these with you because it will take a while. But I wanted to make sure you guys see kind of what I have planned for the year. Okay. I have in my Jellyfish Bags by Awesome Granny. This is more acquisition. I'm going to do The Golden Hour by Andrea Mowry. So this is the natural. This is Wild Strawberry and Old Denim. Melissa of Honeybee Knits used these exact color combo to make hers. I'm excited. It's got some stuff that I've never done before. This is the year of new techniques, I think. Exploration Station has brioche. This has color work. There's just a lot of fun things happening. We have a Honeybee Knits bag, a vintage one. She hasn't made bags in a long time and I miss them. This is my Picture It hat, cowl, and mitt set. So this will actually be getting cast on once I finish one of the projects I have currently on my needles. And it's the hat, cowl, mitts. So yarn is Golden Pearls. And this is White Sand by the Mile. This is the Cheese Man. I think this is The Sky is Falling. And there are little ball bands in these little minis. They came cake depth. and this came skeined, so I haven't like pre-skeined anything. This is, I don't know. This is Get Real Grandma. And then the last color, oh gosh, I know this. I think it's the Lanai. It's, oh my goodness. I'm trying to not, Little Sicily. Little Sicilian Gecko. So, those are just a few of the things I'm planning on right now. It didn't take as long as I thought it would. But I just want to make sure you understood that this is how I got the inspiration from Yarn Hoarder, Amber. Because in her Instagram stories, she was putting all of her projects in clear plastic bins with the patterns printed out. And she could see in and just pick one, and it's portable and ready to go. I live in a small, my craft room is very small though. You are seeing most of it right now. From, that's a wall, and this is a wall right here. It's not very big by any means. So I don't have room for all this storage. So I do, however, have a lot of project bags. So they're being dedicated to my projects for the next few months. And I know that some are a little bit more in advance than others, like the Slytherin shawl, because September during Yoo-Hoo along, Yoo-Hoo, big stash blowout. For September, it is Slytherin September. And I know not everybody's a Slytherin, but I liked the alliteration of it. You knit something in your Harry Potter house colors for the month and it's extra entries. That's all. But, so that's the only one I'm going to give away as a spoiler for the Yoo-Hoo, big stash blowout cow. But I want to talk about that so you guys know how I'm trying to organize my year, because I see so many beautiful patterns that are coming out and I'm probably going to want to knit them. But I also have beautiful patterns that I've bought already that I need to knit. And so, I'm trying to be good and not jump on the bandwagon too much. So those are some of my future projects. Let me get this back. Okay. I also am still planning on doing the Find My Way sweater. Its yarn is back here. And then finally, for yarny stuff, and then I'll get into live chat. And this Vera Bradley market tote. I collected all of the minis from my advent calendar. And there's still an advent calendar not in this bag yet. It is still in my suitcase. And it's the swap one from my friend in VKN, who is Jocelyn. But the other 4 advent calendars are in this bag. And I am going to be doing something with all of these minis. The Arkansas Yarn Co. bag is filled with her minis. I just liked to keep them out, keep them together, because it was nice. And I am going to attempt to do the beekeeper cardigan, beekeeper quilt, not a cardigan. However, if I hate making the hexapuffs, it's probably going to turn into a Battenberg blanket, which is crochet. So, I just wanted to talk about that. Alright. On to life chatter. First off, my babcia is doing a lot better. My grandma, for those of you who don't know, babcia is Polish for grandma. I call her babcia, I call her ma interchangeably. Just depends on who I'm talking to about her. She's doing well. She's in a wheelchair for a while. She fractured her pelvis in 3 different places. And she's getting older, so it's going to take some time to recover, but she is doing well. She's still feisty as ever. And she's a little ball of fire. I love her dearly. So kind of, when she fell though, it changed how the rest of my trip in the States went. It was supposed to be, I'd be in Mississippi, then I'd go to Kansas, I'd go to Missouri for a week in Branson, go back to Mississippi, go to Kansas for a week, and then fly to San Diego and then fly home. However, when she fell, it meant that we were no longer going to Kansas. And there wasn't as much, it was a different Christmas. We'll leave it at that. Things weren't the same. We tried to keep it as normal as we could, but when you have a loved one in a rehab facility trying to relearn how to walk, things change, and that's okay. We are used to having to deal with this since my brother-in-law is in a wheelchair. He's paraplegic. And this was a new development last year. So, I mean, this is something, it's not new for our family. We have been all very dedicated to making sure we see her and spend time with her, because when you're getting older and you're hurt, it's hard to stay motivated. I'm trying to think of the right words here. And so we want to make sure she got to see everybody that mattered to her and was important to her. However, that didn't go as planned either. My husband missed his flight from Germany to San Diego, so he was not with us for Christmas. He was here by himself, and I felt terrible. My dad was home in Mississippi because he was sick, and her immune system just could not handle it. So he wasn't there for Christmas. And then there were people there that weren't planned to be there. My brother flew in. I was only supposed to see him around Thanksgiving time, but he flew in and surprised my Bobcha and said, hey, last Christmas present is here. He came on Christmas night. He flew on the biggest holiday of the year to make sure that he got to see her. It was really sweet. We had some great family time. I took my cousin Jake to the casino. He's 19, and if you don't know, with certain Indian casinos, you can get in and gamble at 18. Others, you can't enter until you are 21. It's not like Vegas, where as long as you stay on the little carpeted area walkway, you're fine. We also have casinos like that in Kansas that have the walkway, and it's all right because there's restaurants, there's hotels, there's kid play places, there's concert arenas and things. But that's not how it works in the area where my grandparents live. It's either you could get in at 18 and gamble, or you have to wait until you're 21. So he's 19. I took him to his first casino, had a blast. He learned how quickly money can go if you go $3 a pop per spin. I don't do that. I play penny machines, and I go for the smallest bid possible. So it's like 80 cents a spin versus $3 or $5. We sat and we watched a group of people play this huge machine. And they were playing, I think it was $10 a spin. And they had $150 that lasted 5 minutes. And they were done. They had nothing. They won nothing. So I made sure that he saw the good and the bad. And I taught him the ropes. We had dinner together. It was great. His name is Jake, and I adore him. He's so sweet. I also went to the casino with my mother, and I went to this casino with my aunt. And because we all needed some downtime away from the house. Because it's hard work being a caretaker, and so you need to make sure that you get time for yourself, too. So I made sure that the adults got time to relax and chill and just not have to worry for a little while. Yes, I am technically an adult. However, when it's your grandmother, she's very particular in that we don't see her struggle in these hard times. She wants to present as the strong person that doesn't need help. And yes, we know that she needs help right now, but she doesn't want us to see her work so hard for something as simple as having to go to the bathroom. And I understand it. It's perfectly fine. But so our parents were doing a lot of the work, and we were just kind of like, well, tell us how we can help. And so a lot of times when she was up for it, we just sat and we watched TV with her. And I rubbed her feet. And it takes love for me to rub somebody's feet, because I don't touch my own feet. I don't like feet. Feet gross me out. But I love her, so I rubbed them for her. and we watched Outlander, and we were talking about my trips that I've taken, because she's the one who took me on my trip to Europe for the first time when I was 17. And I went shopping with my sister for a day. I spent a day with my cousin and my brother in La Jolla. I spent some days with my friend Alex. We went to the tea room. We went to the yarn shop. We just had so much fun. It was great family time. For Christmas, I gave the Walking Dead blanket to my aunt and uncle, and they were super impressed. I am glad that they enjoyed it. They knew what it was right away, and they were very excited. They host Walking Dead parties every time a season premiere is going on, and the season finale too. My brother-in-law got a Darth Vader blanket, and I made it wheelchair size friendly, since he has beautiful Star Wars quilts that my mother has made him. However, they were all for like a bed or a couch. And so it's very easy to have the blanket get trapped under the wheels. And he has a fancy wheelchair, you guys. I mean, it's all electric. It can go up to 5 miles an hour. That doesn't sound fast, you guys, but it's fast. He just zooms around the house. And this chair also completely lifts and reclines to relieve pressure on his back. It's really cool. It's sad that he needs it, but it's a cool chair. And so I made him a wheelchair size friendly Darth Vader blanket. My mother got 2 pairs of socks for Christmas Eve that are Christmas themed. However, she left one in Mississippi when our plans changed suddenly. So I made the second pair while I was in San Diego. I finished them on Christmas Eve before Mass so that she could wear them on Christmas Day. My aunt fell in love with the hand-knit socks. She said they were beautiful. So she has now received a pair of hand-knit socks because I took her to the yarn store and because she wanted a pair. So she now has a pair and she adores it, and I'm probably going to make her more. I have her foot with me. That sounds really weird. Her cardboard foot. I have her cardboard foot. It is right here, covering her name as best I can. So I can make her socks. And I'm so happy to bring somebody into the hand-knit sock world. Very exciting. But my favorite gift of Christmas was, well, there were 2. My uncle hates needles. And there's a store here in Germany that sells chocolate that looks like realistic items or everyday objects. There was an old-fashioned syringe. And it's painted so it looks real, but it's not. It's chocolate. And I hand carried it all the way from here in Germany to Mississippi to San Diego to make sure that it was safe. And I put it in there, and I grabbed a shot glass, and I said 2 shots for my favorite uncle. So he had a shot of each. It was a cheeky gift. And then the other favorite was not one that I gave, and it was not one that I received. However, it made me laugh. My brother-in-law got a shirt that has the picture of the handicap person that you see on the signs. It's a little white figure in a wheelchair, and it says, "I always win at musical chairs." So we've all found ways to make things better. He taught my Babcha how to pop a wheelie in her chair, which is not mechanical, it's all manual. So it was a little harder for her. And they had wheelchair races down the long hallway. He switched into his manual for that, so it was fair. So we do things untraditionally normally. But unconventional, not untraditional, unconventionally. But this Christmas was a little more unconventional than normal. And, but it was good to be back in the States. All kidding aside, I got great time with family. I got to see things that I haven't seen in a long time. I haven't been back to Mississippi since I was like 10, you guys. I used to live there. I don't anymore, obviously. But we were stationed there when I was a kid. And it was so nice to see how much the town had grown. It was just wonderful. And it gave me time without podcasting. It gave me time to focus really on my knitting and what I want for my podcast for the next year and how I want to grow. So, I talked to a few friends. I am getting an official logo. I actually already have it, but I am waiting for a few more things to fall into place before I show you guys what it is and before I start to use it. There was going to also be a name change coming soon. You'll still, as long as you're already subscribed to me, you won't have any problem finding me. I will be updating my Instagram name to match, most likely. I'm not 100% sure on that yet. I will let you know for sure when I do it, because I don't know if it's available at the moment. And I will also probably change my Ravelry name to reflect it as well. I have to let some people know about the name change before I do it. And I want to have one extra piece of equipment because I'm getting a MacBook next month. And so that will make it so I can actually edit these things and make it easier. Because it's really hard to do it on an iPad and a phone, you guys. My fingers are too fat to get to the precise things that I want. And I have a hard time learning on them since they're so small. And I figure if I have the MacBook, I can do it as I go and not have to worry about getting it precise. And it'll just be an easier learning experience on how to edit. So look forward to that. I'm still planning on having a bunch of fun trips coming up this year. I know that for Martin Luther King weekend, I think we're going to Fibre, which is a city in Czech Republic. It's close by. I'm not 100% sure yet. We haven't booked our hotels or anything yet, but that is a possibility. I am trying to make my way over to North Ireland this year to go visit my friend Angela. I'm not doing Edinburgh Yarn Fest though. Not going to happen this year. But there will be some fun trips, I promise. And if there's something that you want to see in the podcast that you don't think I'm doing well, that you think that I should do but I'm not doing, if there's something you think I need to take out, tell me in the comments, message me, because I want to make sure that this podcast, yes, it's something I do to keep track of my daily life here, but I also want to make sure you guys are getting what you want from it. So message me, leave me comments, just make it constructive, not flame. Give me something that I can change, not your face. Fix it. Although I did put makeup on for you guys today. It's the first time I've done it in a while, so it might be a little rough around the edges. I even put in earrings too. But that's besides the point. So, okay, we kept it under an hour and a half. This is good. I'm going to try and add some pictures here at the end. And until then, until I see you next, do what makes your heart sing. For me, it's 2 sticks and string.